Hey, what's going on, guys? Crobat for the win. Danza here today, and I'll be your host for the pilot episode of Around the Rhyhorn. I'm privileged to bring to you today these two panelists on today's show, Mr. RhyQuinn and Mr. Dallasboi1992. Introduce yourselves.
Am I first? Thank you. Hi, I'm RhyQuinn. I'm one of the GBA Season 4 analysts, and I'm here because I want to have fun and stuff. Yeah, I suck at this already. Moving on.
My name is Dallasboi1992. I have done a little bit of studying with the GBA, so yeah.
Awesome. Obviously we know Dallas Boy's here, and I especially want to thank him for filling in on such a short notice. It really was a short notice. It was about 10 minutes notice, so...
Solid.
Yeah. This has been a very busy week for everyone in the GBA channel chat, so it's been tough, but we're going to get something out. We're going to get our pilot out one way or another. So, here's our introduction for the day. I'm going to say a phrase that relates to the GBA this week, and you guys are welcome to respond however you want or however you can. This week's word is safely innovative. Let's hear your thoughts.
Safely innovative is one of the best terms ever created. It sums up perfectly what the GBA is totally about. You want to be innovative, you want to be creative, but you don't want to hinder your performance with your Pokemon. That's all I have to say.
Innovative can be a little bit of a risk versus reward, but if you want to be safely innovative, well, just kind of run a few things that would probably help you in some cases, but probably watch out for some various things. Just try to do stuff when things are coming on the Switch, and if you don't want to risk some stuff, don't risk.
Got it. Alrighty. After that introduction, let's discuss the first word. You guys are welcome to have a brief debate or discussion about the two topics I've chosen. Here's the first topic. First, the heavily favorited Milwaukee Sawsbucks lost against the Cincinnati Lowrids. With all the hype and relative strength on the Sawsbucks team, do you expect them to rebound positively over the next few weeks?
Absolutely.
I actually think that the Sawsbucks could rebound, given the right prediction skills. Well, Steve kind of sacked Arcanine and Electrus pretty early, completely disregarding Fortress and whatnot, which allowed Fortress to pretty much clean up the rest of the game. So I pretty much try to play it a little bit safer, establish win conditions and whatnot, if I'm Steve, and yeah.
Well, in my view, Steve can definitely bounce back. We've seen from his previous experience in previous seasons in GBA, he can have some really bad weeks. He can have some absolutely incredible weeks. And he does have a tough couple of weeks coming up, though. Next week he's facing, the Winnipeg Aquajets, coming off a big win. It's going to be tough for him, but he can definitely do it. He is one of the most inconsistent battlers, but given the right days, the right circumstances, he can definitely pull something back here, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Seems like you guys are in relative agreement with that.
Yep, I think so. I think it's a fairly common opinion. I don't think there's going to be many people that would disagree with us on that.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, sort of, maybe.
Good point. I think in that case, we can probably just wrap up the first topic. Let's look at Chansey. A defensive wall of base 5 attack and base 35 special attack is actually fighting in the MVP race. Do you guys expect Chansey to continually earn KOs and actually stay in the top 10?
As much of an offensive threat as Chansey is, given the right conditions, it could, but on paper, it probably won't, but we'll see how Dan utilizes it.
Well, the thing is, I think looking at Dan's team, in the top 10 in the MVP race, maybe not, but Chansey could definitely be one of the MVPs of Dan's team, simply because it can wear things down. It has that seismic toss for that guaranteed 50 damage, which can really just help out in situations. If there's things that are setting up with, cotton guards or whatever it may be, extremely hard threats to take down, that seismic toss can come in handy, and Chansey could really be getting some kills, especially with the dynamic of Dan's team. He can really play some stally games, as we saw in Week 1. I don't see why that can't be replicated in future weeks.
Right. And what about Fortress? You guys think the same about Fortress? Because I really think it's pretty amazing that Fortress and Chansey both got 2 KOs this week.
It's definitely unusual to see both of them getting those kills, but at the same time, it shouldn't be that super surprising. I mean, Gyroball on Fortress against a Quick Mon is extremely powerful, because Fortress is so slow. It naturally makes it powerful. It doesn't need a super high, attack stat to be dealing damage with Gyroball. And when you take into account the fact it sets up all those entry hazards, it can set up the stealth rocks and the spikes and the toxic spikes. You combine that, it wears the opponents down to the point where a Gyroball will take it out. Fortress can kill things. It might be surprising to see it get 2 kills based on some of the other things that Morvone has in his team, like Talonflame, Kelly, and all that. But again, same as Chansey, I don't see why that can't be replicated in future weeks.
It seems like you guys are in relative accordance again. Maybe I'll need to stir up more controversy with different statements next week.
I think so.
Probably.
I think we can consider that round just about over. Out of Bounds is next. John Pokemon has struggled to get his recording up this week, obviously. I mean, it's up now, but he had some struggles with that, as terrible people would never leave his college dorm room. And in general, he's been having a pretty rough week. First, I hope your week gets better, John. Second, do you guys think that this tough week will affect his performance in the future in the GBA?
Not at all, actually. John is a very skilled battler, and yeah, definitely shouldn't. I don't think it would affect him. Skilled battler. He drafted it incredibly well, and I pretty much look for him to bounce back this week.
Yeah,
And pretty much all I have to say.
I don't know if I completely agree with that. I think that you could see, especially from like his Twitter and things, he was tweeting out saying that this week's been a bit of a bummer. It really sucks. I can't get my recording up. These people won't leave. Blah blah blah. And it's kind of putting him in a little bit of a negative mindset. And if he keeps that mindset going, it may actually affect his performance a little bit. I don't think it'll stay. If he can bounce back next week, if he can pick up a nice win, get on track, then maybe it might not happen. But if he loses next week, he might just, get himself down in the dumps a little bit. So I can maybe even see that affecting his performance a little bit, maybe.
So what a wise quarterback once said, and this wise quarterback goes by the name of Aaron Rodgers, RELAX. Pretty much all John needs to do, and he'll be fine.
Yeah, it's just I don't know whether he can or not. So I think it's just time will tell. We'll have to see whether he can relax or not.
Right.
Very true.
To what extent can he relax? I really do think that's the question that he's going to have to answer for himself. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to answer it for him here on Around the Rhyhorn.
Agreed. I wish we could, though.
Yeah. I mean, we could get him in as a special guest sometime, but that can't be today. So
Yeah.
I guess we'll see. Maybe a few weeks from now, if we got him as a special guest, we could ask him, did you relax? To what extent have you relaxed? And we could see, is he 0-5 or is he 4-1?
No, I think a 4-1 is more likely. But
4-1 more likely, definitely.
Yeah.
All right. So while you guys have disagreed a little bit, there's certainly some partial agreements in there. And okay, that's cool. I think we're going to pretty much wrap that round up. Next, my favorite round of all, the lightning round. You both will have 30 seconds to take a stance or agree or disagree with a statement that I make. First, I must emphasize that these are not my opinions, but rather topics I think the people would be interested to listen to. Let's jump in. All right, I'm just going to get my timer up on my phone again. All right. The Sawsbucks will defeat the Aqua Jets this week. Rye, your start now.
I think that Steve could definitely potentially beat the Aqua Jets this week. The Aqua Jets are coming off a big win, and they're very confident, but they're still newbies in the GBA. Let's not forget that. They're still newbies, and they're facing Steve, who, as I've said before, is one of the most inconsistent battlers. He may have lost this week. He'll come back, and he'll play absolutely spectacularly next week. You never know. I could genuinely see the Sawsbucks picking up a big victory over the Aqua Jets if they're not prepared for the likes of Steve. Hank may even underestimate Steve's abilities after this week 1 loss. Who knows? We don't know what Hank's thinking. We don't know what Steve's thinking. We'll never know.
Right. All right, Dallas, your turn. Time now.
I am actually going to disagree with that statement. Hank has that pretty solid regenerator core. team is a little bit weak to Arcanine, but he does have that Alomomola to kind of sort of deal with that. And Hank, I've seen, has, regardless of time in the GBA, pretty familiar with the format. So I pretty much just expect Hank to keep on that hot streak of his and take home the victory.
That's perfect timing. All right, awesome. Next statement. The Steel Wings will start out 0-2 this season. Rye, your go.
I definitely think the Steel Wings will start out 0-2. They faced Dan in week 1 and took a heavy 5-0 loss, and they're facing Cooper, who's coming off a 6-0 victory. Cooper, one of the most, consistently at the top of their game, very consistently high-quality battler. Cooper's going to be a very tough challenge for the Steel Wings, and I don't think Crimson has, I wouldn't say no chance, but I don't think he has much chance against Cooper this week.
Perfect timing. Awesome. Apologize for the beeping sounds in advance. That's just going to be my phone. All right, Dallas, your go.
I'm actually going to agree with that statement. Cooper definitely coming off that 6-0 might be a bit of a challenge for Crimson. I mean, having to ride all that momentum, definitely going to be helping Cooper in places and whatnot. So, yeah, on paper, Cooper has a better matchup, and I do expect him to win this week.
Alrighty, awesome. Next statement, and last statement that I have here, although maybe I'll make another one up for the last, just to add a little more time. The St. Louis Rampardos will have a really close game with Shady, maybe even defeat him. Rye, what are your thoughts?
I absolutely agree with this. I think Dan is really impressing people with his performances so far. I think he's really getting to know the format really well. The term we used earlier, safely innovative, he used that perfectly in week 1. He knows what he's doing nowadays. He's very familiar with the format. And as we've seen in week 1, Shady is a fantastic battler too. And I think that both of them are going to put on a really, really great battle, and one definitely to look out for. And especially one between friends as well. It's going to be a great competitive battle that I'm sure we're going to see in week 2.
Time. Awesome. Dallas, your go.
It's probably going to be a little bit close due to team composition. Well, looking at teams a little bit, you can kind of see that Mega Scizor could be a bit of a nuisance to his team if Mega Sableye is removed from the field of play. So Shady definitely needs to keep that alive if he wants to win. So it's probably going to come down to a battle of the Megas. Whomever loses their Mega first pretty much loses the match.
Time.
So yeah.
Okay. And here's a bonus that I just thought of off my head. Obviously, Miguel plays the Giantes this week. Ditto of the Giantes will have a big game. Rye, what are your thoughts?
I don't think Ditto will have a big game this week. I don't feel like Miguel will let Geo exploit him that way. I really don't think he has that many setup mons that Ditto could come in and take advantage of and take the boosts of. I could maybe see him coming in against the likes of Stoutland, but that's only if Miguel brings the sand against potentially Geo's Rain, but I don't know if he's going to do that even.
Alrighty. Dallas, your thoughts on Ditto? Time. Go.
There is... Ditto could actually put in work if and only if I can see Miguel bring Power Up Punch, Mega Lopunny, but realistically, seeing that Ditto there, I don't think he's going to bring that at all. So, as RhyQuinn said, the only way he thinks Ditto could do work is if he brings Stoutland, but I guess we'll see.
Alrighty. That's pretty much the last for the lightning round. I think we're going to pretty much conclude our first edition of Around the Rhyhorn for Season 4, Week 1 of the GBA. We're on a 6-day, 23.5-hour break. I'll put a straw poll in the description for the panelists you most agree with, just in general, for who quote-unquote wins this game. Obviously, we're going to keep improving Around the Rhyhorn. This is more of a testing pilot. We're going to try to get more people in the future when we can work out our schedules. We're going to always improve. We're going to have more segments. We'll get this to be a bit of a longer one as well. Once we have more people, that'll help a lot. Am I right?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
Definitely.
Alrighty. So I think we're pretty much done here. Do you guys have any final words?
None.
Words. Yep.
There you go. All right. Thanks for listening, guys, and peace out.